This is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Waterville City Council. There are agendas on the table near the entrance or online at the city's website. Consent agenda items are routine items which are voted on in one motion and vote. Unfinished business or new business items are voted on separately. Councilors will be given the opportunity for questions or comments, followed by citizens who must speak at the podium, identifying themselves. Citizens will be allowed to speak one time per agenda item for up to 3 minutes. Citizens who wish to speak on a topic that does not appear on tonight's agenda will have the opportunity to do so during the public comment section of the agenda for up to 3 minutes. And with that, I will kick us off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First things, any conflict of interest, any disclosure of conflict of interest? Any councilors have any conflicts with any of the votes they will take tonight? All right. Seeing none, we kick ourselves off tonight with a couple of presentations. First up, we have the Alpine Subcommittee and the Friends of Quarry Road and Resource Development Committee, presented by the Friends of Quarry Road. So I will invite those folks up. Matt, good evening.
Thank you, Mayor Morris. And thank you so much, City Council, for listening to just the report that we have for you today, talking a little bit about some of the recent developments that have happened with the incredible community resource that we have right here in city limits. There are a lot of people who make all of this happen every year, and we just want to make sure that we're on record with the city, just everybody's aware, and just want to make sure we give thanks to the people who have really done some of the heavy lifting, because there have been a lot of things happening at Quarry Road this year. So just a little bit about the history of Quarry Road. So it's not a new area. So it started 87 years ago in 1938, pulling people up what was then called Dunham's Mountain. Ended up being taken over by Colby College in the 1950s and was a centerpiece to Winter Carnival. 1964 built a new T-bar and snowmaking system, one of the first in the state. It became central campus gathering spot, but as community campus gathering spot as well. Unfortunately, in the 1970s, energy costs went up, and in 1979, operations ceased. Fast forward to 2007, so between 2007 and 2010, volunteers, many of them the same people who learned to ski here as children, began clearing the trails again. So they reopened 12 kilometers of Nordic terrain on city-owned land, created the Friends of Quarry Road, and began a remarkable partnership with the city of Waterville. So that partnership has grown ever since, making Quarry Road one of Maine's most dynamic four-season recreation venues and economic asset for Waterville. So today, what does it look like? So we have over 12 kilometers of groomed Nordic trails, 2.5 kilometers with snowmaking, and 2 kilometers lit for night skiing, which is a rare combination here in Maine. Annual programs like the Bill Koch Youth Ski Festival draws over 500 skiers and families to the city. Youth Nordic Learn to Ski, Outdoor Adventure Club, and Free Use Snowshoes connect hundreds of children and families each winter. The Nordic program remains the backbone of operations and a model for what community-based recreation can be. So some improvements this year. So more than $1.5 million in upgrades have been completed this year, which includes stormwater systems, paving, lighting, parking expansion, and accessibility improvements. Funded through the Northern Border Regional Commission, USDA Partnership, Harold Alfond Foundation, Bill and Joan Alfond Family Foundation, the City of Waterville, and the Friends of Quarry Road. On November 1st, we had a fall festival attended by residents, volunteers, and partners, and it showcased these improvements. On the Alpine side, which I am part of the Alpine Committee, after a 43-year pause, lift service skiing returned to Waterville in 2022 with a new 400-foot tow rope and on the historic slope serving 75 vertical feet. So just in 3 seasons, that short line has sparked a new generation of skiers, youth lessons, and weekend excitement. I can attest to this. Both of my children, 8 and 10, have been on the hill since it opened, and they are excellent skiers because of Quarry Road, no doubt about it. So this year, on the Alpine side, To the Hemlocks was a goal. So with the help of Randy Liberty, who's the state commissioner for the Department of Corrections, Eagle Rental, and the city of Waterville, and the Friends, the Alpine slope has been regraded and extended another 75 vertical feet, reaching the historic grove known as the Hemlocks. When clearing the trail, they kept those hemlocks, and you can see online there are pictures that show a picture from way back when. You can see the hemlocks, and today they kept that. It's very, very cool. You should go check it out. So the Department of Corrections supplied the operator. Eagle Rental provided the excavator, both at no cost, while the city provided insurance, coverage, and oversight, fuel costs, LED lighting, and improvements to the rope tow. A targeted $25,000 donation from Kennebec Savings Bank funded electrical installations and equipment needed to get to the hemlocks. Some of the upgrades for snowmaking and safety. Electrical and control work is underway for the fan gun extension, TowPro systems upgrade, and a new LED lighting system for night skiing, which, if you click through a few of these, we have the new lights. That's some of the historic pictures from the original ski slope. This is some of the Nordic pictures. You can see the lights there, very, very unique, and a huge, huge piece of Quarry Road. If you continue through. This is some pictures from the summer, some of the improvements that I'm going over. Some pretty serious work has been done. Parking lot upgrades to prevent the really muddy conditions. It is a huge improvement this year. If you go one more, I think we'll get to. So you can see some of the work that was done here. We have Robin Chapman here, who headed that group. You'll see his picture here in a second, but this is some of the work that was done with the people that we just mentioned. So hard piping and the third pump are on the priority list for next year for more snow coverage. Department of Corrections has offered to build a tow rope shack needed to the hemlocks this season. So this year, we have more school-aged children coming. There's been lots of interest with schools in the area. So this season, we're going to be open Wednesday and Friday, 3 to 5 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 2. And the new lighting, which if you go one more, I think it will show the lights. Come on now. Yes, so that is just a week or two ago with it being turned on for the first time. Absolutely incredible. We're getting back to what it looked like in the 70s, which a lot of residents I see in the community talk to us and saying, I used to be dropped off there by my parents, and all of my friends would be there until they shut the lights off and my parents came. This is what we have in city limits, and this is what school-aged children are talking about, and schools are reaching out wanting them to be involved. So the next phase. So we are looking to phase one. It's a guest service building with ticketing, rentals, lockers, first aid, restrooms, solar-powered, efficient power source, an all-season spot. Phase two will be a full recreation center with a capacity of about 125 with panoramic views of both Nordic and Alpine. $250,000 main trails bond grant application has been submitted to help fund this multi-use facility, a new east side trail along Quarry Road, and trail improvements. And the structure would offer shelter, event space, storage, including a new location for the piston bully groomers. We're really looking to make sure this is a four-season resort type scenario where it's generating revenue 12 months out of the year. So not only in the wintertime for all these things that you see, but also the mountain biking piece, disc golf, hosting events. That's what this facility would support. So some of the community events we're talking about, so the Friends and City are coordinating one voice for all the messaging for Nordic, Alpine, and those four-season activities. Regular winter events like Beer League Slalom, which I'm very excited about, by the way. I will be involved. Family nights, potlucks, Star Watches, which are astronomy nights, soup and snowshoe walks, free ski days, and torchlight parades. This will build community ownership and increase revenue. But the broader picture, the City of Waterville owns and operates the venue, Waterville's largest park. The Friends of Quarry Road raises private and public funds, develops plans to enhance the venue, and helps recruit and train volunteers. Colby College, Kennebec Savings Bank, Department of Corrections, Eagle Rental, local businesses, and dozens of residents provide labor expertise and heart for this alpine development. Local business sponsors, Coldwell Banker Plurd, Central Maine Chapter, New England Bike Association, Trail Space, Kennebec Savings, Sheridan Construction, Colby College, Maine State Credit Union, Central Maine Motors, support the venue and operations year-round. Nordic volunteers offer after-school youth instruction, staff regional competitions, and accompany students with races. Volunteer snowmakers work with city staff day and night throughout the winter to make the snow and groom the Nordic trails in Alpine Hill. And those are the people behind the scenes that you do not see that really are a game changer. Whenever there are events going on in the state, and as we know, the weather is all over the place now, certainly in the state of Maine, they reschedule and come to us because we can provide the snow quality needed for these races. That is the effort of the city. That's the effort of Friends of Quarry Road. That's the effort of the volunteers that make this happen. So together, we're creating a venue that serves both Nordic and Alpine skiers of all ages, anchors regional recreation and tourism, builds year-round economic impact, and keeps Waterville's legacy for outdoor adventure alive. So in 2025 was about infrastructure alignment and continuing the momentum created by all who have dedicated their energy and efforts to Quarry Road. Going forward, we're looking to expand certainly the usage on the hill, looking to expand snowmaking capabilities so it's more efficient for both Nordic and Alpine. And we're really just here to say how thankful we are to have the city as a partner in this. None of this would happen without the city's involvement. The Friends of Quarry Road are doing this 12 months out of the year, and the volunteers that make this happen are everybody in the city because of not only the experience if you're a skier, but the economic impacts that you see are huge. Just a couple of quick numbers. About 100,000 annual visits. 65,000 of those are from people from outside the city of Waterville. There's about 2.6, almost $2.7 million in annual spending here in Waterville. The breakdown are almost $300,000 in accommodations, almost $1 million in restaurants visits, $200,000 for groceries, $700,000 for activities and attractions, about $400,000 for transportation, and about $200,000 with the miscellaneous. So this asset that we have generates interest, it brings people to the area, and they spend their money here when they do arrive. And again, many people have a role in this. I do just want to thank, from the city specifically, Matt Skian, Jeff Tucker. They are the ones that sort of hear what we have to say, and then they get their team together to get it done. Specifically for the rope tow expansion, the Public Works crew led by Mike Folsom, Dan Wilson, and city electrician Tim Hamlin. Very appreciative there. And our Alpine Committee, Dave McClay, Robin Chapman, Victor Esposito, Tim Axelson, Jason Furchek, and Jennifer Kierstead, who's the executive director of the Friends Board, and the whole Friends of Quarry Road Board. None of this would happen unless these people volunteered their time, energy, efforts, and connections to make this all happen. So that's a little bit of a rundown as to where Quarry Road has been, where we're at, and the vision for the future, and thanking those who have made that possible.
Thank you. Councilor Beal.
I just want to congratulate y'all. You've done a wonderful job. My son is in the back of the room. He started at Quarry Road when he's 3 years old, Nordic skiing, and now he's one of the top skiers in the state. I want to do a shout out for the high school. The high school now has a Nordic team. We compete against other high schools in the state, and that's never been done before, and it's a pretty exciting time. I have one other point. Over the next 5 years, they're going to remove the dams on the Kennebec, and our riverfront is an amazing resource, and I'm hoping that we can use the same model to build and develop our waterfront on the south side and use the Quarry Road model, because there's a tremendous opportunity there for summertime activities primarily. And so I will be reaching out to y'all at some point in the future to talk about that.
Wonderful. We welcome the conversation, and thank you for those points. That is very exciting. Hey, congratulations. I love it.
I mean, listen, if we sum all of that up in one word, I'd just say awesome. And I do a lot of work with youth football, and I see a lot of parents, and the one term that I hear people say is it takes a village, right? Like, kids are at different fields at different times, and parents are just running all over. I'll take your kid here, I'll do this. So again, I think it takes a village, and you named all of the people that made this happen and will continue to make these things happen, and I think that's just phenomenal. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing more things that go on out there. I mean, I don't do any of the things that you just said, for whatever reason. But once we open up the place, we can just hang out inside in the warm, I'll be there a lot. That sounds fun.
Excellent.
But yeah, I think it's fantastic. It is a gem for Waterville, and it's, again, all the work that you guys put into it is awesome, and we appreciate everything that you guys do. So thank you very much.
We appreciate your support very much.
Councilor Green.
Please.
How many volunteers?
That's a great question. There are a lot of hands in this, and a lot of it comes informally, people chipping in. Snowmaking in the middle of the night is very labor intensive. Jennifer, any specific numbers on that?
The number that I keep in my head is 60 for those kind of regular volunteer duties, especially throughout the year, especially the winter season. But you also see classes coming in from schools to do trail maintenance, and so that's 25 at a time, 30 at a time, 20, So I would say hundreds overall, but core group probably up to 60.
We're trying to make the biggest tent possible and really include as many stakeholders as we can, because there is interest. You bring it up. Some people are unaware. They're like, oh my goodness, this is incredible. I'm going to go check that out. So the number grows every single year.
That's awesome. All right. Any other questions?
We talk about the economic development of Waterville, and here it is. This is something that we should definitely we should thank you guys for everything that you're doing and everything that you're bringing for the city of Waterville. And anything anytime you need something, just give me a call, and I'll do my very best to help as well.
Let's get your son on some skis.
Yeah.
Football was a big step this year.
We're getting there, yes.
Awesome. Well, Matt, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Next, we will follow up with our first quarter finance report. Christina, my favorite report of all of the reports that we produce here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I appreciate that comment, but budget season's coming. You might not think it's your favorite.
Well, it's what gets
We'll
us
do
there.
what we can. On my memo, I put the attached financial reports. Just look at the account positions for the general fund, the outstanding debt service, the bond borrowing, project list, TIF funds and the investments, checking accounts, and trust and bequeaths. At the second quarter, I'll do a little more detailed report and provide the reserve and special project list. I think that'll be a good time going into the budget. to have those numbers and a little understanding of where we've come with the projects that were projected, what's been completed, and what remains. I think the city overall is in a good financial position for the quarter ending September 30th. Most of the expenditures have been below benchmarks, and the revenues have been on target. This is always a great combination. I expect things may change quickly as we approach the winter season, so I'm enjoying this quarter before the expenses associated with plowing and sanding and those seasonal things really start to hit the numbers. And I will point out some accounts, when you look at them, we have this conversation every year. They may be front-loaded, so in the first quarter, you may look at them and say, well, we've spent 65%. But it may be the way that the premiums were due or our payments were due for more debt service earlier in the year than later in the year. So just keep that in mind when you look at them. If you have any specific questions and want more detail on those accounts, just let me know, and I'll take a little deeper dive into it and give you more thorough explanation on any specific line items. So the city's interest rate on the checking balance is currently at 3.8. It may impact how much money we'll have available for capital next year. We were holding pretty good, but it keeps ebbing down a little bit. I am pleased that it didn't drop as quickly and as much as originally thought last year that it could have. So we'll evaluate that during budget season and see what's available. All the capital requests will be part of the budgeting. We ask them to update and prioritize within the departments which they'd like to see funded the most. And then we take a look at that. So I'm estimating the minimum available amount of interest to put toward that would be between $250,000 to $300,000. It's still going to be less than last year, but we will see how we can divide that money out. My priority this year is to try to set aside some money for the either matching funds or long-term repair of the chapel. That's been a long-standing project that hasn't gotten any attention at all. So, but we will have those discussions later on. So, is there any questions that I can answer in regards to any specifics that I gave you?
I don't at this point. I don't know if any counselors do. All right. Well, wonderful.
Okay.
As always, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a
This
good
is great.
rest of your evening.
Thank you. You as well. All right. Moving on to our city manager report. Cornell.
Thank you, Mayor. The city's Impact Task Force will meet tomorrow at 2 o'clock right here in this room in City Hall Annex. We'll have some guests from Preble Street, which is an organization from Portland that provides services to those experiencing homelessness. They'll speak about the benefits of their Housing First projects. Task Force will also be discussing the new Home for Good program, which is sponsored by the Maine State Housing Authority, which provides housing and rehab services on site. The concrete sidewalk work around front of City Hall and the side entrance has been completed, but the parking lot paving work will be delayed until the spring. An update on job openings of city staff with recent hirings at Public Works is down from 6 openings to 2, equipment operator and a laborer, and interviews for those 2 positions are still ongoing. The fire department became fully staffed again last week and will begin advertising for the 4 new positions next week. And the police department is completing background checks on 2 candidates to fill their 2 open patrol positions. Holiday events, Festival of the Trees will start November 21st at 10 a.m. at the Elks Banquet Center, open for 6 nights. And if you go to festivaloftreesmaine.net, you can get more information about that. The Parade of Lights is Saturday, November 29th at 6 o'clock. Floats will assemble along College Ave, travel down Main Street, stopping at Castongway Square for the lighting of the giant spruce tree and Santa's arrival at Kringleville. And all city departments except for emergency services will be closed on Thanksgiving Thursday and that Friday. Trash and recycling normally collected on Thursday will be collected on Wednesday And Friday collections will take place on the following Monday. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to council comments and/or committee reports. Any councilors have any committee reports or comments they would like to make this evening? Councilor Green.
Yeah, I don't have a report. I have a request for a report. And I think it would be great to hear from the task force at our next meeting, especially since they're going to be meeting this week. We haven't heard from them in a while. So it would be great to have that on the agenda.
Very good. Councilor Beal.
I had someone reach out to me today about parking downtown. And I haven't been in this position long, but I understand that this has been an issue in the past. Is there anything that we can do to address that as a council, or does it need to be addressed? Do y'all have any thoughts on that?
Like adding more parking downtown?
Not so much adding more parking as to perhaps figure out a way to better manage what we've got.
Councilor Green.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Parking management is one of the important pieces of the downtown vision plan that hasn't been tackled, and it's one of the more complicated ones. So I think that it is high time that we do look at that. So that's one of many tasks for our new city manager, I suppose, to lead that effort. But I really do think it's time that we look at it. I think that I agree with Councilor Gilly that we don't necessarily need more parking, but we need to manage it better so that people who are able to walk can walk a little further, people with mobility issues can be closer, that we have more of a traffic flow around short-term shopping downtown and, manage our resource. I also want to just mention on that note how sad I was to read the news about the pedestrian who was killed this last week. And I think it's also high time that we looked at pedestrian safety in the city, including the speed of vehicles and also our streets and sidewalks, particularly on big thoroughfares, to make sure that they are safe.
I agree. Councilor Harrod.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo what Rebecca just said about that accident. That was really difficult to read and hear that. And I think that we do need to address this in the city. I think it's been a conversation that just hasn't taken priority, and it really needs to be, especially on the busier streets. You know, we did have a study recently on Silver Street. I don't know what's considered a speeding issue because the average speed seemed pretty high to me, but I think it's similar on KMD, and also the very much lacking in crosswalks and sidewalks, you know, for people to get around. So I think, you know, it's unfortunate that this happened. That will hopefully prioritize this conversation, but I do think we need to talk about it for sure.
I agree. Anyone else? Youth Council? We have members of our Youth Council here this evening to give us an update of what you guys are doing there.
Well, we've still been talking about an ongoing dark sky project. We're looking into what are ways that we could make the city lighting more dark sky friendly. And we've been planning some trips to different city departments in January, like the fire department and police department.
Yeah, awesome. I know we confirmed with Matt. Matt's going to come to our next meeting. We'll talk about some of the things that we're doing with the dark sky, some of the questions that you guys have started to put together. So we'll be able to do that at our next meeting, which will be good. So looking forward to that. All right. With that, I will move on to public comment. Anyone in the public that would like to make a comment on anything that's not on our agenda this evening? Nancy.
Nancy Sanford, Ward 1. And just College Avenue is another one that needs to be
Yeah.
considered. I've said that before, and I've said it years ago, and it just is the most, well, it's not the most, but one of the most dangerous places in Waterville, and I use it a lot, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen people, looking from side to side and just deciding when they're going to dash and try to get at least halfway over. So, good.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Anyone online, Patty? All right, great. With that, let's move to the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor? All right, wonderful. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to read by title only.
Motion to read by title only.
Second.
And all those in favor? Wonderful, thank you very much. All right, moving on to old business ordinance 209, 2025.
Amending the code of ordinances to change references from the building, I'm sorry, my mic's not on. Amending the code of ordinances to change references from the building and electrical code to the building and energy code.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? I know Dan was here last time to kind of talk through that. Anything? All right, seeing none, Patty, can I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Gilly,
Yes.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal,
Yes.
Counselor Harard.
Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor and 0 opposed.
All right, moving on to Resolution 212, 2025.
Approval of the city manager employment contract.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, any discussion? None?
Everybody's, at the table, and obviously Councilors Klepak and DeBrito, we searched for quite a while for a city manager, and it has been an incredible task, and there have been great candidates. But I can confidently say that Waterville is in some great hands with Nick Cloutier. This is going to be great, and all the prosperity that we want for Waterville. Mr. Cloutier, I believe, is going to be able to take the ball and run with it. So I'm very pleased.
I'll second that.
Welcome back to Waterville.
All right, with that.
And I'm in favor of it, too.
Yeah.
Very much.
Listen, you have been instrumental. I say it every time. When I'm out in the public and things like that. I mean, you really have helped kind of keep the wheels on the bus, so to speak. And we certainly appreciate all of your efforts in what was supposed to be probably a short-term stint for you, which just kept growing and growing. And smile on your face, okay, all right, another search, there we go. So I appreciate you hanging in there and doing everything that you've done. So I appreciate that. Okay, with that, all those in favor? All right, thank you very much. With that, I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to invite Nick to come on up here. We have this. We do have the contract here. We are going to just take a moment to sign this to make it official. This is. We didn't dupe you with everything that we sent you.
Sounds good, I trust.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Trust you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, that's good. All right, so I will have you sign here. My favorite. Good to go.
Thank you very much.
You can even sit there the rest of the day if you want.
I probably won't, but
Okay.
thank you for the offer. I'm sure in the coming weeks and months and years,
Yeah.
I'll have my fair share of
Yeah.
sitting over there.
Correct.
I just wanted to say a few words. Keep it brief, I'll try to focus on three things: my excitement, my dedication, and my gratitude. The excitement, I'm extremely excited. I'm not jumping up and down now because it's a public forum, but that's the kind of energy I have inside right now, to be not only a career move, but more importantly, the literal move coming back to my hometown. I've had an incredible journey serving other communities, most recently Scarborough, which I'm very grateful for those opportunities, but there's something to be said for coming back home and not just to live, but to be a public servant. And I'm incredibly excited and humbled to be given that opportunity. I see a lot of familiar faces, and I'm sure I'll see more, and it's an exciting opportunity to be part of what's going on here. And that leads me into the second point, dedication. There is a lot going on here. We just heard about some really great, exciting things going on, but there's also challenges that are real, that affect people's daily lives. I am dedicated to equally serving both of those needs, because it's all important to all the residents. And I'm going to roll up my sleeves and do the hard work and put in the time and effort to help the staff that's already doing an amazing job double the efforts and continue that progress. And the gratitude, I'd like to thank my family who's here, especially my wife. Thank you very much. And I'd like to thank the members of the community that have extended their support and encouragement along the way, and also the mayor and the council for giving me the opportunity to make my case that I think I'm the right person, and not just because of my professional skills and experiences, but really that ability to care more than the average person, because I came from here and I want this place to thrive, and I feel like I'm not alone in that. So in the coming months and years, I want people to know I'm in it for the long term, and I want to work with you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, well, I mean, certainly a lot of familiar faces. I mean, you brought half of them, so I think which is great. I mean, we've doubled our attendance in the meeting, so this is great. Keep coming back. I think this is awesome. Seriously, certainly happy to have Nick on board. We are going to do a formal meet and greet on December 11th. That is a Thursday. It is going to be at the library. From 6 to 8 o'clock. I know we're going to have some light refreshments. There'll be a cash bar. So it'll be a great opportunity to come and meet Nick, and his wife Anna will be there as well. And, just to come and say hi and kind of introduce yourself. And I think it'll be a great way to kind of just welcome back to the community. So we're certainly looking forward to getting that going. So more on that to come. We just finalized the location today. So yeah, we're pretty excited about it. So yeah, let's keep on keeping on. All right, with that, let's move on to Resolution 213, 2025.
Refer to the Planning Board Zoning Ordinance Amendment 7.1 amendments.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right. Bill, I believe this is yours. You have just something to say about this, right? That's why you're here.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Why don't you want to just give us a kind of a...
Sure. Some counselors have expressed an interest in basically being able to say no when there is a zoning amendment proposal that comes before us.
Yeah.
The present wording of it is susceptible to two meanings, and it also has some language which is contrary to state statutes, because all zoning amendments have to be referred to the planning board for review before the council gets to act on them. So rather than trying to modify some language which has some problems with it to begin with, it seemed easier to just rewrite it and to essentially state two things. If you think that a council proposal, a zoning amendment proposal has merit, then you refer it to the planning board. If you look at a proposed amendment and you don't think that it has merit, you can just vote no on that referral, and it goes nowhere. And Of course, you have to take a vote to refer this to the planning board because all zoning amendments are subject to being referred to the planning board for report and then coming back to us for a vote. And so you have we are we're proposing to amend the amendment provision of the ordinance.
Right.
I have just a quick question.
You bet. Councilor Gilly.
Isn't that the point of the planning board, though, to establish whether or not merit? I mean, how would we come to the conclusion or the decision that something doesn't have merit? I'm confused.
As an honest question, are they checking merit? I actually don't know if that's the intent behind the planning board or if it's just to check the legality and like whether or not what they're trying to do is following the proper guidelines. I don't know if like a merit check or a values kind of check is going on there. I don't know if that's part of their actual definition for what they're supposed to be doing.
I might not be using the terminology, but I mean, and I'll just say it, but doesn't that, to me, it appears as though it kind of dilutes the planning board. Am I?
Councilor Green?
I think it is a really good point. It's one that I've kind of wrestled with a little bit. And I think that, in most cases, the council is going to refer a proposed amendment to the planning board so that it can be heard, right? But we did recently have a case where every single person on this council felt that a proposal that was brought forward would not be beneficial. And we, in fact, did not refer it to the planning board. And I think it's those extreme cases where, it just really, there's no merit there to be considered. It is the way I read this. Just, again, I guess I want, I think that the council should take the approach that, in most cases, as a default, we're going to refer a proposed amendment to the planning board for consideration, and not be the gatekeeper on that.
If I may?
But it gives us the option.
You may.
I think it's going to be the rare exception when you do not refer something to the planning board. And the reason this amendment has come before you is because you had one of those situations, and because of the present wording of it, it seems like you need to, although it's not worded as clearly as it should. But by and large, what we're talking about here is a relatively rare exception. And when you send it to the planning board, you're not saying that it does have merit. You notice the wording says may have merit. So you're not making any judgment. You're just saying there's something here that we think the planning board ought to take a look at, and let's hear from the planning board. And then, of course, it's the city council that makes the final decision.
Yeah.
I'd also add that it involved taxation, it involved impact on school system, so things that would be issues outside the realm of the planning board review, I think, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think this gives us the opportunity to kind of say no right out of the gate, without having to go through the planning board step and have them put all of their time and effort into a meeting that if something that we're just not going to approve anyway. I think that it saves a lot of that. If there's really no interest of the council, at the end of the day, the planning board's going to look and say, does it check all these boxes? Can we change the zone? But if there's no interest for that project to move forward, then to go through that step seems kind of pointless to them and their time. So, Councilor Green.
I had an exchange with Councilor Herard on this issue, and she suggested that perhaps, if I may, that shall was a better verb than must, and to me the must is the issue there, right? That was the problem with the wording before, part of the problem. So I'm wondering if it would help to and I'll suggest an amendment, to remove the first clause. If the city council determines that a proposed zoning change may have merit, just remove that and say, the council shall first refer the proposed amendment to the planning board, et cetera, unless the city council determines that a proposed zoning change has no merit, in which case the council may vote. Because the assumption, I mean, as you said, Bill, the assumption is that nothing can be changed until it goes before the planning board. So we don't have, that takes us out of deciding, does it have merit or not merit, or, you know, making that positive judgment. All it does is say, if you have a case where this really goes contrary to the goals of the city, then you have the option to say,
But
no.
doesn't this say that, though? Like, there's two things, right? So this one says, if the council determines that it does have merit, then we have to send it to the planning board. Then the second sentence is, if the council determines that the proposal has no merit, then the council may vote to not refer.
It's subtle, right? I mean, in the first case, the council is making a decision, this has merit. And I think what Councilor Gilly was saying is, what, does that put us in the position? I mean, the whole point of sending it to the planning board is to see if it has merit.
Well, you're not saying it has merit. It may have merit. You're not making that judgment. You're just saying there's at least a possibility. If you cut out the first clause, I think it ends up being confusing, and it starts sounding like the language we presently have. This just lays it out as two choices. If you think it may have merit, it goes to the planning board. If you do not think it has merit, you can vote no to sending it to the planning board. I don't see any ambiguity there. And we need to have it as clear as we possibly can. And also, of course, we need to hear from the planning board as to what they think about this language. And when it comes back, they may have a suggestion that we haven't even thought of.
True enough.
And if so, we'll change the language if in fact the council thinks that what the planning board has raised is worth changing.
I think.
Okay, I withdraw my amendment.
Yeah, I mean, I think what this does is it allows the council to, like, because if you change the word must into shall, then it basically says that the council doesn't have to, if they think it has merit, then the council doesn't have to send it to the planning board, right? Like if you say shall, there might be like, hey, if everybody's for it, then this says must, because then they have to, if you guys like this, like any changes or things that go to the planning board, then we have to send it to them to do their due diligence. However, if you don't like it, then you can just simply say no. I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I do see more nuance there, but then I just live. I move words around for a living, so, like I said, I think it's a great idea to send it to the planning board and let them decide.
Okay. Any other discussion? Anyone from the public? Seeing none. All those in favor? All right, thank you very much. Moving on to Resolution 214, 2025.
Approve notice of federal interest as part of the Northern Border Regional Commission grant for Quarry Road.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right. Jennifer, good evening.
Good evening. I'm not going to read the entire memo on this, but basically what needs to happen is, and what we're requesting, is that the city co-sign a notice of federal interest that's required by the Northern Border Regional Commission in order to release the reimbursement of funds to the city of Waterville. I can go into a lot of detail on that if you want.
So essentially we become a pass-through kind of
Yes.
thing? Is that what we're kind of?
Pretty much. The city has stepped up and they have paid the first two invoices to Query and Construction that totaled $669,142.55. That was in accordance with our agreement with the city as acting essentially as fiscal sponsor. That included the city's $35,000 cash match contribution to the project. The Friends has made additional amounts of over, $8,556.33 has made those funds available to the city so that the city can proceed with payment of the third invoice, which is the largest to date from Quarian, totaling over $509,000. So we have essentially expended our match funds ahead of the federal government, and those are held up for two reasons: the shutdown, primarily, and then secondarily, we just received notice this fall that they wanted this document done. So we did consult with 3 attorneys: the city attorney, our own attorney, and MBRC's attorney. And the resolution was to have us, the Friends, co-sign this document and submit it, to have it recorded and submitted, and then they'll release the funds.
Okay. Any questions from the council? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor? All right, wonderful.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, moving on to Resolution 215, 2025.
Approved bid award to Bob's Cash Fuel Incorporated to install a new propane-fired furnace in the Waterville Regional Airport's terminal building in the hangar portion.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Any comments? Randy, this is a you? Is this you or is this Matt? Andy, oh, jeez. Didn't even see you back there.
Questions?
No, I mean, I don't know if there are any questions. Andy's here. Like, if not, we'll just move this along. Very good. All those in favor? All right. Thank you very much. Moving on to Resolution 216, 2025.
Approved bid award to McCormick Building Supply to supply rock wool insulation, metal panels, trim, and fasteners for the hangar area at the Waterville Regional Airport Terminal Building.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right. This one I'll have Randy come up. This is you, right? Let me make sure I get this one right. Just kind of tell people what's going on up there. Like, get some building supplies and what else are you doing? Every time I go up there for something, there's something different there. Everything looks new. It's different.
We stay busy.
I know.
Because we can't sit on our
Yeah.
hands. We're busy. So this winter, the anticipation is to make our hangar a little bit more efficient. Right now, we did the siding project last fall, as you know, improved cosmetically the building, kind of sealed it up a little bit better, made it a little more weather tight. In doing that project, we realized that there was nearly no insulation in the hangar, which explains why it's so expensive to heat. So we looked at some options. We determined that the most cost-effective option was to do this rock wool, Roxol type material, and to sheathe it over with metal, which will allow it to be protected. And it will also hold heat a lot better. And perfect timing, because we needed a new furnace or heating system in there. So all in all, I think this will improve our efficiency dramatically.
Okay. Well, wonderful. Thank you. Any questions from the council? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor? Wonderful. Thank you. Moving on to Resolution 2017-2025.
Approved bid award to Sundog Solar LLC to furnish and install solar panels on the Alpha Municipal Pool Complex.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right. Any questions or concerns? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor? All right. Thank you very much. Moving on to Resolution 218-2025.
Canvassing of votes and determination of the result of the referendum and municipal election held on November 4, 2025.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay. First and foremost, Patty, thank you very much for all of your work, and you and the staff as you directed all those folks throughout the course of the day. Went without a hitch from what I could see. I'm sure there were things that you want to correct and things you were like, really? But like overall, it was a smooth event, and thank you yet again for all the work that you did.
Takes a village, right?
It certainly does.
Yeah.
It certainly does. Any questions or concerns from the council with regard to this? All right, seeing none, all those in favor? All right, wonderful. Okay, moving on to ordinance 2019-2025.
Approve amendments to the personnel ordinance.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, Bobby Joe, last but certainly not least.
Right. Hello, everyone. So, been a minute since we did some updates to the ordinance.
Yeah.
But some important ones. So the main paid family leave law that went into effect, January 1st is when we started withholding the 0.5% from employees and 0.5% for the city. Cross Insurance approached us to see if we wanted to go to a state private plan, which the state allows us to do. They gave us options for 11 different plans, and after meeting with them twice, I selected one of the plans that gives us the best bang for the dollar. So instead of paying 50 cents on every $100 of payroll, we'll be paying 46 cents. It's a really good deal. This year, if we sign this, we'll stop making payments until the plan starts, which is in May of 2026. The memo that I gave you said that there was an $8,000 savings. That's actually the anticipated savings for next year. This year, because we won't be making payments from October to May, it's actually a $30,000 savings. So that's much better. The employees will also see that savings as well. So that's half of the total savings that Cross Insurance anticipates. And that's based on our 2024 W-2 wages. So obviously that number will change based on what our wages are. So as part of that, that's a 3-year, we're guaranteed the rate with this company, Symetra, for 3 years. So there's no worries that next year they're gonna jump our rates to higher than what the state is charging. So that's a good thing too, that we know what our rates will be through October of 2028. Part of this is with these state plans, these companies all want you to have some type of a secondary insurance with them. And it's because they're guaranteeing rates for you. So during my meetings with them, we talked about one of the life insurance plans that we have. This plan has been in place. I've been here since 1997. It was here before I started, and nothing has ever changed with it. There are some of our full-time employees that have a $2,000 life insurance with this plan through Boston Mutual. Others have a $50,000 life insurance plan. Those that are on that $2,000 plan are our public safety employees, police, fire, public works. We could bring them up to that $50,000 level, so all employees are getting the same life insurance benefit for a total cost, for an annual cost of $2,446. Very little money. Part of that plan that we have also has a short-term disability insurance with it, which, Boston Mutual also has. We'll actually have a savings of $8,777 annually. So it offsets the cost of bringing everybody up, and we keep the same benefit. The other part of this short-term disability plan is that right now, an employee can't use this plan, this disability plan, if they're using any sick time. It's the way the policy is written. This plan is you're able to use both. So it does give you that gap because the state plan doesn't cover you at 100%. So it is a nice benefit for employees. So it's my recommendation that we move to the Symetra plan for both the state plan for the PFML and for the short-term and life insurance. And then, so any questions on that before I move to all of our other changes? No? Okay. So the additional changes of the personnel ordinance, there's language in here for the public safety dispatchers. They have a union contract now, so it's taking them out of there. Health insurance, Maine Municipal Association, who's our carrier has changed the names of our plans. Again, it's just a little bit of update. Same with our life insurance that's in there. They increased our life insurance at no cost to us, so it's just updating. The earned paid leave, that's different than the maid paid family leave. That went into effect on January 1st of 2021. And what that does is it, every 40 hours that an employee works, they earn an hour of earned paid leave. Our current full-time employees, we already earn more than that. The law changed on September 1st of 2025. Before, they could only have 40 hours at any time, and they could only roll up to 40 hours. Now it's unlimited what they can roll, but you can still only earn 40 hours in 1 year. So it's a law change. That's what the change is here. And it also will, this change allows us to, it currently states that it's the first 40 hours of vacation time that's considered earned paid leave for full-timers. This actually will say it's first 40 hours of either sick or vacation time. And then the main paid family leave going to a private company. So those are the changes in the ordinance. Any questions?
Just thank you for that very succinct memo. Very complicated.
Yes. You're welcome.
Changes, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate you having the Ovaltine decoder to kind of decode all that and put it in terms that we can understand, because I'm sure it's probably a lot complicated than that. But
Yeah.
we appreciate all the efforts, and it sounds like there's some good wins for our folks, which is awesome.
Right.
So good.
Great. Thank you.
All right, you're very welcome. Thank you. Okay, with that, before we adjourn, I just want to say, this is our last meeting before the Thanksgiving holiday.
Mayor, we need
Yes.
to take a vote on that.
Oh,
I'm
sorry. That's a good point. Yeah, all those in favor?
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, again, we're getting ready to the next week's Thanksgiving. So, again, I want to just wish all of you and your families a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with the family, and we'll see you back in December. But with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn. And entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you very much. Have a great night, everybody.